The real war isn't being fought with weapons. It's being fought with assets. Not on battlefields, but in markets. And you're not hearing about it the way you should. Because this war doesn't look like conflict. It looks like trade. It looks like policy. It looks like normal economic movement. But underneath, it's a silent fight for control over the future of money. Pause. For decades, currencies competed on the surface. Exchange rates, interest rates, inflation. That's what most people see. But that's not where real power lives. Real power lives in what asterisk backs asterisk a currency. Short line. Not paper, not digits. Assets. And two assets have always mattered more than anything else: oil and gold. Now here's where it gets interesting. Oil represents asterisk current power asterisk. Gold represents asterisk stored power asterisk. One fuels the present. The other protects the future. And right now, both are being repositioned. Quietly, strategically, globally. Let's go deeper. Oil has controlled the financial system for decades. Why? Because energy is non-negotiable. Every country needs it. And for years, most of that energy was priced in dollars. That created demand. Not optional demand, forced demand. If you wanted oil, you needed dollars. Simple. That's how a currency becomes dominant. But what happens when oil starts being traded differently? Not entirely, but gradually. Deals in local currencies, energy agreements outside traditional systems, new partnerships forming without dollar dependence. At first, it looks small, insignificant. But systems don't shift through announcements. They shift through repetition. And repetition changes structure. Short interruption. Structure defines power. Now layer gold into this. Gold doesn't depend on any government. It doesn't rely on trust in policy. It doesn't change because of interest rates. It just exists. Stable. Recognized. Universal. That's why when uncertainty rises, countries turn to gold. And here's what's happening right now. Central banks around the world are increasing gold reserves. Not publicly celebrated, not loudly discussed, but consistently happening. Why? Because gold is insurance, not against collapse, but against asterisk loss of trust asterisk. Short line. When trust weakens, gold strengthens. Now connect the dots. If oil begins to move outside a single currency system, and gold is being accumulated as a neutral reserve, what does that signal? It signals preparation. Not for chaos, but for change. A shift from one dominant system to a more fragmented one. Multiple currencies, multiple settlement systems, multiple centers of power. That's the real currency war. Not one winner, but many players reducing dependence. Let's make this uncomfortable. Most people think currency wars are about exchange rates. They're not. They're about control of asterisk real assets asterisk. Energy, resources, reserves. Because whoever controls those influences everything built on top of them. Markets, trade, purchasing power, even stability itself. Now here's the contrast. On one side, people watching headlines. They see inflation reports, interest rate changes, market volatility. They think that's the whole story. It's not. It's the surface. On the other side, people watching asset flows. They track oil deals, gold accumulation, structural shifts. They see direction, not noise. And direction is what determines outcomes. Short line. Outcomes follow positioning. Always. Let's interrupt again. This isn't about predicting a sudden collapse. That's too simple. This is about understanding a transition. From a system built on single dominance to one built on diversification. And diversification changes everything. Because once countries have options, power spreads. Not disappears, but redistributes. Now bring it back to you. Because this isn't just geopolitics. It affects how value moves in your world, your currency, your cost of living, your financial future, all influenced by these deeper shifts. And the biggest mistake you can make is assuming nothing fundamental is changing. Because it is. Quietly. Underneath the surface. Through oil flows and gold reserves. Through decisions you'll never see in real time. Short line. You won't hear the shift. You'll feel it. Higher costs. Different opportunities. Changing stability. By the time it's obvious, the system has already moved. So the real question is, are you watching the surface or the foundation? Because the real currency war isn't loud. It's silent. It's strategic. And it's already underway. If this changed your perspective, subscribe. Because the next video might show you where value is moving before everyone else catches on.